Okay, before we start, if anyone else has problems with the installation of Waragon or XAMPP on their local computer, they can use the same platform, the free website from WordPress.com. And YouTube is full of tutorials that can help you if you have any problems with building the homepage, but I think that we covered most of the basic things. So for today, we can start with introducing some more settings from the Elementor and the basic settings from the WordPress. After that, we can cover the gallery on the homepage. That's something we didn't finish yesterday. And after we're done, we can talk about some of the main free products first. I mean, the main plugins that are very useful for newcomers, and almost every WordPress needs them. After that, we have some spare time. We can install some of them and work around them. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. Tell me when you see it.
Yes, we can.
Excellent. All right. Today we're going to start with changing the theme. I'm going to tell you why we're going to change it. Every theme in WordPress comes with different settings and options. That's because every theme is made from different developer and has different costs and purpose. For today's lessons, I'm going to show you how to include social media links. I'm going to show you how to include Facebook page box with the latest statuses on the Facebook. And I'm going to show you how to work with some of the most famous plugins on WordPress. And for that, we're going to go to the themes from appearances. I'm going to choose 2019, which comes with every default installation of WordPress. After the activation is done, as you can remember yesterday homepage, we're going to refresh now. And there will be some differences right here. As you can see, the container is a little bit different. The font size is different. Also, the logo is gone. So we're going to rebuild that again. And this time we're going to choose a better logo. So we go to customize. From here, you can see we have additional tab with widgets. I'm going to talk about them later. For site identity, here we can choose our logo. If you're making any school project or any kind of that, you can use free websites for generating a logo. You can use freelogodesign.org. From here, you can choose title for the logo. In most cases, the company name. But for our case, we use Code is Awesome. You can choose some of the categories which will help with the generator to select a better logos for us. After that, we press get started. It presents us a variety of logos. For now, I guess we can pick one of those. Yeah, this will do the job. Okay, from here we can press save. And we can use the low resolution, which is free, of course, and you have to pay for the bigger resolution and settings. Here, I'm going to give it a name. One quick email. So they can have it there. Press OK. And that will do the job. Okay. We go to Gmail. to see the logo. It's already here. I guess it's not this one. That's the early one I made. I guess we're going to use this one. Cats are awesome. I have 2 cats, that's why I designed this. All right, let's go back to the logo section. And here we can upload the image. We can crop it, but I guess this will be done the same. Yes. Okay, I'm going to refresh the page. It's not bigger enough, but we will do the job. As you can see, there is a title here. That's the name of the website. But we're going to remove it for now because we don't need it. All right, it's gone. Let's go back to the Elementor. We'll go to our page, which is home page. We can press edit or edit directly with Elementor. From here, I can show you the global settings of the Elementor. You can go by pressing this bar menu right here. We go to site settings. From here, we can manage the global colors of the site, the primary colors, the secondary colors, the text colors, and the accent colors. Underneath is the global fonts. We can choose different fonts families for different sections of our site. The global right now is Roboto. That is a free Google font. We can change the default size of every element on the page. That's all right. And when you're entering a new content and you're putting your CSS and style from the boxes, but I will show you what I mean by that. From here, we can change the font weight. We can transform it with uppercase, lowercase, capitalized, normal. We can change the style, which most cases by default is normal, italic, oblique, and the decoration, which is underline, overline, line through, and none, which is by default. We also can change the line height between the lines and the letter spacing between each letter. But we're going to leave it like that for now. I guess it's looking all right. Underneath, there is a typography. This is the global settings of the typographies, which means every #1, #2, #3, and etc. can have a different font size and colors. We're going to leave them like this. There is the general settings for the buttons as well, like typography, text shadows, normal state, which is how it looks by default, hover state, which is when you hover the button, and basically border radius and padding, which makes the button bigger. By images, here we can have a normal stage and hover stage. By hover stage, we can add some animation additional to this to the images that we don't have right now. This is a slider, it's not a gallery, but we're going to build one right now. And this is for the forms. Recently, yesterday, we installed content form setting, which is one of the most popular plugins for content form. With it, you can build normal content forms, and you can make even forms for reservation for hotels, like choosing a calendar dates from one day to the day to leave, and etc. For those settings right there, we can choose layout. With the layout settings, we can change the width of the container of our site. As you can see, while I drag it, instantly the content changes. By default, it's 1180. We can change the widget space between every widget. By default is 20 pixels, so I'm going to leave it like that. We can change that independently for any widget and section, so we don't need to go and mess up the settings right here. And this is the file page layout. This is something that we need to talk more, but I guess we won't have the time today. So basically, those are the general settings of the Elementor and the site. We'll discard everything because I'm not sure if I changed something or not. And now we're going to build a gallery. There's many ways to build a gallery. There is one gallery that's included, like default widget in the Elementor, also in the WordPress. We have another one. We can install many different plugins that may fit the purpose of our task right now, but I guess we'll do it with the Elementor widget right now. By default, we have basic gallery and WordPress gallery. We're going to use basic gallery, and we're going to put it between those two sections. From here, you can choose to select the images you want. I guess we're going to use some dummy banner right here. I'm going to create new gallery. And I'm going to use the same picture, I guess, again, if I can. Or maybe I won't. It's possible to do it. Okay, we're going to work with those three images. We can change the image sizes from here. By default, it's thumbnail. We can change it to 300 to 200, to medium range, large, and full. But for right now, we're going to leave it like that. Other settings we have is the columns of the images. By default, we're uploading 3 images, so it's going to be 3, but we can change it to 2 columns, which will separate them on the new line. We can make it on 1, etc. We're going to leave it like 3. The link points to the media file, which is the image, and by clicking it, it automatically will open it with a light shot and open it in an additional slider. If we don't want that functionality, we can remove to none, and the images will stop zooming. But we're going to leave it with the zoom effect, and we're going to update. I'm going to add additional heading right here. We're going to enter the title, and maybe we're going to give him some padding underneath it, or a margin. It doesn't really matter in this case. Some padding on the bottom, and I guess on the top will be all right. page right now. And as you can see, we build a simple gallery right now. All right. Next section that we're going to create is going to lead us to our new sample page. If you want to direct your traffic to, I guess, maybe we can create a page that will present our services. Let's say our business is creating or cleaning homes. We create another page. Give it a name. Services. We're going to publish it. After that, we can edit it with Elementor. And we're going to add one column, and in it, we're going to put some text. It comes with some demo text. I'm going to copy it so it doesn't look empty. I'm going to update the page. Now, we go back to the dashboard. From here, we can manage to go to our home page. Now we're going to create a new section, which will be on the 100%. Here, we're going to add, again, some text. From here, we can center it. And underneath, we're going to put some button. We can position it, of course, on the middle. Just write the text. From here, we can choose different types of the buttons. That's the default preset with some kind of CSS. It can be info, success, warnings, and danger. Those styles can be overridden by the earlier section where I showed you right here in the inside settings. But for now, we're going to leave it here like this. Our services. And from here, we can add custom link. We can copy from the URL, or we can use the link options. We can add values, dynamic content. I guess the progressions of the Elementor covers the choosing of the page. So we're going to go back and refresh the page and see if we have our new page added to the menu. It's not added by automatically. So I will need to go back again to the appearances, menus. And from here, I need to add our new created page. You can change the name of the page, but I'm going to leave it as it's by default. You can make the link to be opened in the new tab, but I'm going to leave it like this for now. After this is done, you can refresh the page, and you can see now the URL of our new page. Copy it. Now we can go back to our button, the wanted link right here. From here, we can change the size to the medium large and extra large, but for now, this is okay. We can add an icon with it. We can upload SVG, or we can use the icons library that we have in the Elementor. From here, we have Font Awesome library included. We can use external account for links or something that is more suitable for this. I guess we're going just to use this arrow. We can position it after, and we can add some spacing between the text and the icon. I guess like this will be okay. Here we can set a button ID. This is only for CSS. If you're going to make any different changes with custom CSS, you can put an elements ID right here, and you can choose it with the selector from the front end, but we don't want to need that right now. Going to refresh again, and there is the our button. It doesn't have overstay for right now, but will lead us to our services. And this is one of the simplest way to make a button. Of course, with the text editor, you can choose any part of the text, and you can make it again linked with almost the same options as bottom, but we're not going to cover that right now. For next step, I'm going to show you how to add social icons and social links to our website. In most cases, they are positioned on the top or in the footer, right next to the content links. So first thing too, we're going to create a widget that we're going to populate the footer. Right now we have only powered by WordPress, the copyrights. So we go to appearances, widgets. And here by default, we have only one widget, which is widget section, which is the footer. We can include many other widget sections, and that can be made with additional plugins that need to install. The other way around is to create a modification to the theme and to the functions PHP file of the theme, but we're not going to do that in our course. This is only presentation of the admin and the things we can do from it. So for now, we're going to add additional widgets to our footer section. Like, like the most sizes have 2, 3, 5 columns on the footer. So we're going to start with maybe a little information about our site. So we're going to search for the text widget, and we can drag and drop it in the footer section. From here, we can give it a title. And here we can put some dummy content again. We can use something like Warren. Going to create a new one. Sorry, my tabs are crazy right here. Widgets, okay. Copy paste. I guess that's too much. I'm going to cut some of it. Save it. And as you can see, we already have a footer column. We can add additional widgets to our footer. So we're going to start with adding a new plugin, which will allow us to include our social media icons and links. So we'll navigate again to the plugin sections, add new, and we're going to look for social, yes, icon widget. I guess we're going to use the first one. I guess we'll do the job. Something very important about the plugins, when you're searching for a new widget or plugin, there's a couple of things you should consider. One of them is the active installations. Higher the number is always better. And also the reviews and the comments. As you can see, something very important is that the update time, when was updated. That is always something good to know, because some of the plugins that are created are no longer supported. So you should always check for that. Also the compatibility with your version of WordPress. Some of them are tested, just like this model. Some other are not tested, and you never know what's going to get up with this when you install it. It can block your site. We're going to talk about that later. We're going to install this social icon widget. I'm going to see the options right now. I'm not very familiar with it. I'm just picking it because it has the most installations and it has a good rating. Okay, it's ready to be activated. Can refresh the page. As you can see, it's activated. It doesn't put any new menu, so I guess we have to go back to the appearances widgets, and we'll see if we have a new tab right here. And yes, we have one. Excellent. We can drag and drop it, or we can press Add Widget. From here, it's automatically created one widget with a custom title. We can put some text above the icons. There's different options like show the icon labels, open links in new tab, which is always preferable because you don't want to close the site when one of the clients is directed to your social media. You want to leave it behind, open it. We can have icon alignment, icon style. We're going to leave it by that. Icon background style, rounded corner squirrel. We're going to leave it as well as that. And we have the icon type pixels and the size of the icon as well. We can set a color for all the icons, but we're going to leave it like that because by default, every social media has their branding and they're getting upset when we change that. So we're going to leave them like this. As you can see, we have presets with two type of icons right here and social links. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I guess we can add one more. We can change from here the social media we want. And you can see it has basically most of them, if not to say all of them. And we can save the icon. And we can just, oh, I repeated the same. No, I don't want that. I want LinkedIn. Okay, there. And we can just put the to the link section our new link. I'm going to write just whatever I want here because I don't have my account right now. And we're going to save it. By default, it can recognize the name and it's going to turn. Okay, that's interesting. LinkedIn, okay. We're going to refresh and see if we have our new section. Yes, we have it. Follow us. It should open the page on the new tab. Yes, it does that. Excellent. All right. Next thing I'm going to show you is how to add a Facebook page button box in our footer again. We go to Google and we press Facebook page box. It will lead us to the WordPress.facebook.com. From here on the left side, you can see one of the main widgets that can put in our page, like comments, embedded comments, like button, quote plugin, save button, share button, etc., etc. For including messengers or other plugins like that, there's additional settings that needs to be approved from the page you want to connect with the messenger and your website. So we're not going to do that right now. For the purpose here, for this demo, we're going to use my old page, which, as you can see, I don't support anymore. So what do we need for creating a page Facebook box? We need the URL of the page we want to display. For tabs, we're going to use the timeline, which is the home of our page, all the new comments and statuses. We can set a width, which by minimum is 180, but we're going to go around 200. It automatically shows the result and how it's going to look after that. For height, we're going to choose something around 280 pixels, in case that's okay. Of course, you can use small header or hide it completely. We're going to leave it like that. We're going to set above the plugin container width. This is helpful, especially for responsive design, because as small as the devices comes and the screen gets smaller, it's going to scale by the container of the fitting width. We can choose to show friend's face or not. And right here, we can get our code. There's two ways of decoding this code. One is using the JavaScript SDK. Other way around is just using the iframe. We're going to use the JavaScript way. First step, actually second for this one, is to put this code after the body is open it, but we're going to include this code in the same widget we just created. We're going to use for that widget. And we're going to use the text tab, so we can put our code here. It's not recommended to put this code right here because it should be put in the footer, because footer is the last thing that your browser is loading. But for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to show you how to use code editing, and it's going to take so much more time for that. So we're going to put it right here just to show how it works. And this is the code that we need actually to show the whole box. This is the one that loads the JavaScript required files. So after that, we can go back here. And I guess I messed up something. Of course. Go back. As a text, we paste our code right here. Give it a title. And we can save it right now, and we'll see the result. Let's upload the page. Yes, there's it. This is how to include a Facebook page to your website. Of course, right here, it's going on the next page, next round, because there is not enough space right here, because by default, the columns are 2. But that's additional settings that we're not going to cover right now. Next thing to talk about is some of the plugins that are very popular and they are needed to almost every website. We're going to navigate to plugins. I'm going to show you some of them. As we are installing earlier our plugin with the socials, I told you about breaking things, which is actually happens very often with WordPress. And if you want to protect yourself from such mistakes, because some of the plugins that we can install can actually damage our site, because they're made by different developers and they're not tested for all versions and themes. As you know, there's more than 10,000 themes online. So we're going to the section with the add new. And one of the easiest way to protect yourself from such damage is to install any kind of plugin that will make a backup for your database. Of course, you can make that of course, you can make a backup from the cPanel or from your host provider. They can have additional services like backups that can be go daily or every week, but in most cases, those services are paid especially. So you can do that by yourself by installing any database backup module. Of course, most of them do the same trick, and you can set different settings for the backups. You can backup the whole site. Of course, if you have, again, enough space on your host provider, on your host profile. And you can make a daily backup with your site. You can make it weekly, but always before installing any strange model or any model that can make great changes on your website, it's recommended to make a database backup, because you never know what's going to get wrong. About the translations of the WordPress, there are many models that can do that. Most popular are Qt Translate. Or maybe if I don't make typos. Qt Translate is one of the famous. Other that can be free are Polywang. This is the Polywang. Polywang and Qt Translate work kind of the same. Their translations need to be put after manually, which is the preferred way. Of course, you can install a plugin or a model that can make Google translations, but you know that they are not always correct. Actually, in the most cases, they're terrible. And that's why it's not very recommended to use such models. And again, after you install any of those models, you can pick the preferred languages. You have to set a main language and the secondaries. After you do that, in every page and every section in your website, there are going to be additional settings, and you're going to be possible to switch around the different languages and put different content for each of them. Think for them like there are different pages, like there are different websites. Actually, you can make a different version of your site by just changing the language, and you can put entirely different content of it. Other plugins that are very popular and that are game changer, such as WooCommerce. WooCommerce is open source e-commerce plugin for WordPress. It's designed for small to big enterprise projects and magazines, shops, actually. The thing that actually do WordPress is that basically changes your website or your business website, your blog, to completely new shop, with adding the functionality of catalog, products, adding the functionality of cart, of checkout, and everything you can imagine. Of course, that plugin is free, and the free version of the plugin includes the main functionalities that you're going to need for starting the business. But of course, like the rest of the plugins on WordPress, most of them, they come with the free version, which is restricted with basic settings. And the pro version, of course, comes with many other usable settings. Other things we can talk about while we still have some time is the comment sections in the WordPress. By default, the comment section is under the posts. I don't think we have a post. I guess we have one new post right now. Let's see. Yes, we have hello world. And the comment section, or I guess its settings, are reading, discussion, actually. And from here, you can allow people to submit comments to your new post, or you can restrict them not to do it. It depends on the purpose of the website. Of course, the comments after must fill out their name or email. That's a service you can turn it off or in. And you can set automatically close comments for posts that are older than any type of days you want. And of course, you can save the commenters, the author of the comment, their name and email, so they can comment next time with saved settings. So they need to log out again or fill the inputs of the comment section. Let's go to our sample page. I guess we have our comment right there. Yes, this is the hello world post. We can go on it. And from here, we can see that we have one comment. And because I'm logged as admin right now, it doesn't display the additional inputs, which are the name and the email. Of course, there are many other plugins that are connected with the comments. Lately, Google is adding even more and more trust in the SEO optimization in the comments, so they're becoming even more important for the SEO optimization. But as you know, most of the people don't leave comments when they're happy. They leave comments when they are not satisfied by the product. By the latest statistics, like 70% of the people are more to leave the comments when they are unhappy. That's why most of the plugins allow the correction and deleting and approving of the comments, so they can protect their users from spamming and damaging their product. Other things that we can talk about are the positions of the menu. By default, as you know, every theme has a main section which is in the header. The theme that we are using right now have a secondary section, which is the footer. We can input additional widgets, and we can add to that widget the menu that we have right here, or we can build totally separate menu and include, of course, include it right here. If you want to change the position of the menu, that's something we have to consider by additioning more plugins, because every theme comes with presets, and if the theme doesn't have a custom sections for the menu, you have to install additional plugins that can help you with that. But for this course, we're not going to do that. We're going to leave it as it is. And I guess we can go to the frequently asked questions. So if anyone has any question, don't be shy. I will try to help you no matter the question. So, does anyone has any questions?
No.
All right then.
Will this be on YouTube as well?
Yes, I think so. They should be
Okay.
recorded about an hour or two after we're done.
Good.
All right. Anyone else?
I have one.
Yeah.
After we finish the website, how can we share with our friends?
Well, if you're making it on your local host, there is no way to share it. For that, you need to either buy a domain and hosting provider where you can put your website, or as I can tell you earlier, you can make a free website on wordpress.com. Of course, there will be limitations to your account there because that's a free service. But for the sake of yesterday's video and probably the most of the things we did today, we're going to make it will be possible to make them there. Just the options will be a little bit different. The purpose of this video was to show the main functions of WordPress and some of the plugins, such as the Elementor, which is one of the most popular page builders. In that version, whereas the WordPress.com, which is the third version, you have there the Gutenberg. I can show you right now what are the options there. We're going to edit our homepage. We're not going to edit it with the Elementor. We're going to press the plus right there. And from here, you can see again on the left side, there are the widgets and the box that we can use that are predefined with the Gutenberg. That's the name of this editor. And of course, if we already built our page with the Elementor, it's going to break it when you add additional default widgets. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you again. They are pretty much the same. Let's say I want text. We can not text, I say text. As you can see, we have paragraph headings, list, wheel list, quotes. We can put custom code, which will be great for reference if you're copying the videos from the YouTube, as I showed you yesterday. For gallery, of course, there will be something similar. Yes, you can build a gallery with it. I'm not sure if I'm going to add it right here because I already created with Elementor. I'm not allowed. Let's see what else we created yesterday. We had a slider. We had custom box with videos. A gallery, you know, that we can create now. An iframe with Google Map we can copy again. Yes, Pablo, do you want to say something? Do you want to add?
I have one question.
Yeah.
Can more than two people work on the same site?
Can you repeat the question? I didn't hear it.
Can more than two people work at the same site?
If the site is located on your computer, only you have the access to it. If you create your website on any free domain, or if you buy one, but I don't think you're going to do that for this course, you can work simultaneously. You can work together, but when it's on your local machine, they won't have access to it. Only you.
Okay, thank you.
Other ways you can use it, you can use any desk or team viewer, and together you can browse around the page around the site. But for working together as a group, you have to either buy a domain or use any of the free services for creating web shops. But as I said, they are very restricted. Anyone else? If something is not clear or you want to add something, if you want to put something in your web page and you don't know how, you can ask me now. I'll be happy to help you.
So I think there are no more questions. Thank you, Nikki.
Alrighty.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Can you stop your screen sharing, please?
Yeah, of course.
So that's all for today. And we will see us tomorrow morning. Do you have any questions about the organization of the virtual meeting for tomorrow?
No.
Okay, okay. Then I want to thank you and see you again tomorrow. Bye.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you and goodbye.
Bye, Asna. See you tomorrow.
Bye. See you.